Hi, my name is Teresa, and while I am new to booktube, I am not new to books. Let's get into the video. So I came up with this idea that is inspired by wine tasting, kind of. I'm no sommelier or anything like that, but I do like the idea of a taste profile, or they call it a flavor profile, but I'm not too keen on that word. I think it would be weird. So I have come up with the author taste profile with the intent to dedicate a full video to a singular author and go over their work, what their most notable work is according to Goodreads, because unfortunately that is the application that most readers and reviewers use. Go over what book I have read that I believe is the strongest from the author, and which one I believe is the weakest that I have read, as well as provide pairings with these authors, aka recommendations of other books or authors that have the same vibe as what the author writes. I feel that this will be good for both new readers for the author and those who enjoy the author already and are looking for something else to read. To start off this series, I wanted to go over one of my favorite authors, probably my author for the year 2023, Silvia Moreno-Garcia. A little background on Silvia Moreno-Garcia. She is an award-winning Mexican author who resides in Canada. She has been writing and editing for decades. She also has her own micro press that she runs called Innsmouth Free Press. A little fun fact, I have actually seen her speak, and one of my favorite things is her telling the story of how she would take any job when she first started writing. She would look at a submission and then write something for it, and one notable one is the one that she wrote for a Cthulhu erotica zine. And with that, it kind of was not the basis for one of her books, Silver Nitrate, but it is also about old horror films and such. So there's a connection there, and I thought it's fun. The majority of her work is typically standalone. She doesn't really do series, and her stories center Mexico, Mexican culture, and Mexican folklore. While the majority of her work is speculative fiction, she is starting to branch out into more general fiction. Her upcoming release in 2024 is supposed to be a historical fiction, and it is called The Seventh Veil of Salome. In Moreno-Garcia's tales, she often weaves little hints of magic in them, but she does try her hand at different genres while doing this. Some of her work you will find Regency romance, horror, thriller, and sci-fi, but they do often include deeper themes such as colonialism, gender roles, and the exploration of change that comes with time. And it is this exploration of deeper themes combined with the touch of magic and the exploration of different genres that really draws me to her as a writer. I really love to see how well she can execute these different genres, and so far, of the 6 works that I've read, she has done so successfully. Now on to her works. So she has 9 novels, 3 chapbooks, and just a buttload of short fiction. Of her novels, her most notable one is Mexican Gothic. I think that is her most notable work overall. On Goodreads, it has 339,000 plus ratings. And in my opinion, it is also her strongest work, at least of the books that I've read so far from her. What I find really works with Mexican Gothic is the genre. She explores a Gothic story, and she really includes those elements that work for the story. The house is creepy. The family involved is just so odd, and they have a sinister vibe to them. And it's just, the atmosphere is really captured, and I love that about it. It truly works at telling the Gothic story that it sets out to tell. And that is polarizing to people. While I loved it, I know that it is very hit or miss among the community of readers. And I feel like that is because Moreno does always explore different genres. So you never really know what you're going to get. So if you liked the beautiful ones, say you aren't prepared for Mexican Gothic. It is also pretty graphic, so I have heard that that's a issue that some people have as well, but I loved it. Moving on, I feel the weakest of her works is The Daughter of Dr. Moreau. That being said, I did still rate that book 4 stars. The reason that I have pinned it as the weakest of her works that I've read so far is because of its connection to the H.G. Wells classic, The Island of Dr. Moreau. Now, with The Island of Dr. Moreau, wasn't for me. I actually read it before reading The Daughter of Dr. Moreau because I did feel like it would give me a more informed opinion about elements of the book, specifically where it draws from original story. With that though, it's so very, very loosely based on The Island of Dr. Moreau that I feel like it did not need the name connection to make the story still successful. I hope that makes sense. And I also felt that the plot twist was a bit too obvious. I still appreciated it. I thought it was a great story where I felt that it showed a woman taking agency for herself from the men in her life, and that is what I really liked about it. But overall, I did find that it was the weakest. On to the pairs with section of this video. If you enjoyed Mexican Gothic, I would suggest trying What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. What Moves the Dead is a Fall of the House of Usher retelling that follows a sworn soldier, which is a person who has enlisted in the military of this fictional country, who takes on a different gender expression when they join the military. So it explores gender in that way with someone who is gender non-conforming. I don't think non-binary would be the correct term, but currently I am at a loss for recalling the term that would be most appropriate. So let me know in the comments. They go by a different pronoun. It is one that is exclusive to the book, but it is not the focus of the book, but that is our main character, and this is set after their time with the military, and they are heading to the Usher's house at the behest of Madeline Usher, who insists that she is dying, and she wants to see her old friend before she passes. It shares a crucial motif with Mexican Gothic. I don't want to say what it is because I feel like that would give too much away for both stories, but it was notable enough that T. Kingfisher did mention in her acknowledgments that she read Mexican Gothic and was worried at the similarities between the two, but did decide that what was the harm of having two stories that were similar. And I agree, I love them both so much for the reason that they are so similar. Moving on though, also, if you liked Mexican Gothic, I would try giving The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Rashashani Chakshi a go. It also features a creepy house, and while I feel like it was marketed more as like a romance, the marketing for it I don't think matched up with what it is actually about. I think it was marketed as fantasy, but it is more of a thriller. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I could be wrong. I felt that it was creepy. It explores toxic female relationships in childhood. It follows these two girls when they are young. One of them is poor and one of them is rich, who lives in a creepy house. Love a creepy house. And it kind of explores that friendship while also having a dual point of view of the bridegroom, who in the future is married to one of the girls, now grown obviously, and they have to return to the house where something creepy has happened, something has happened in the house. And I thought it was so interesting. It does have more of a fairy tale spin to it than leaning into like the Gothic side of it all, but I feel like they have the same vibe. Next is The Beautiful Ones. So for The Beautiful Ones, I only have one recommendation, and that is Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. It has the Regency romance vibes that is just so wholesome. Half a Soul does have fae in it, while The Beautiful Ones just has a touch of magic in it, but still, if you're looking for that cozy fantasy vibes. And lastly, I have Silver Nitrate. If you like Silver Nitrate, then you will also like A House with Good Bones by Kingfisher. And A House with Good Bones and Silver Nitrate both deal with the occult. In fact, they both mention Aleister Crowley at some point, and I was reading these around the same time, which is Halloween, and just reading one and then piggybacking to the other kind of weirded me out, because I was just like, wait a second, I just read this. Where did I just read this? The dealing with the occult and getting mixed up into it as characters who previously have no knowledge of it really brings these two together. And I feel like if you like Silver Nitrate, you might like A House with Good Bones. I will say Silver Nitrate does have a little bit more romance in it. It's dual POV, and it has a more serious tone to it, I would say, where A House with Good Bones, the narration style is very, I don't want to say lighthearted, but kind of lighthearted. And I believe it's first person point of view as well. I can't remember. I also put down Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle to give a try to. It is, I'm a little unsure on this one. It deals with conversion camp, so it does have LGBT representation in it, as does Silver Nitrate. Minor spoiler, in Silver Nitrate, both of our protagonists are bisexual. It plays a small role in Silver Nitrate, whereas in Camp Damascus, it is very much the center of the story. Camp Damascus also deals with demons, and I kind of counted that as a cult, so maybe try it out. So that is my author taste profile on Silvia Moreno-Garcia. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like this video and let me know if there are any other authors that you would like to see in a series like this. Again, as I have stated in my previous video, don't really know what I'm doing with this channel, but I really liked making the first video and I would like to continue. So we shall see. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.